The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
From New York, The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. This is Doc Severinsen, along with Tommy Newsom and the NBC Orchestra, inviting you to join Johnny and his guests, Paul Harvey, Dick Haymes, Larry Kert, Louise Lasser, and the winners of the National Harmonica Contest. And now, here's Johnny!
Out. Never before have so few clapped for so much. It's not just a beautiful face, you know. I have a brain, too. Remember those girls when you go out with those kind? Tonight's monologue comes to you, in spite of objections, by the Citizens Committee for Better Television. And there's the committee here now. This is on, isn't it? Remember those old jokes? I want you to relax, have a good time tonight. What did you say before I came out here? People get nervous or something?
Well,
I heard
that's true. Some people come to see the show. They're maybe not expecting to see you here.
Little humor there, huh? No, I want you to relax. Don't,
true.
you see, as I tell my staff, don't think of me as a star. Think of me as somebody that you can divulge your innermost secrets to, than knowing that I would never tell another human being. You know why? Because I don't listen. I don't care. That's why. Tell me anything you want to. Who listens? It's a beautiful day today, isn't it?
Lovely.
You can tell it's the middle of September already. They're putting up the Christmas decorations in New York. They start about this time, don't they? Before Thanksgiving? Who? Got to have somebody moving occasionally around here. Got to get back. I was off yesterday. I had a nice weekend, though. Just quiet. Saturday, I rotated my shoe trees. I don't have wild weekends, just silly little things like that. Does Mama Leone know the tablecloth is gone?
I give up.
Wow.
For once,
that's nice. I really
try to
dig
wear
that.
something nice.
I dig that. I really do.
You like this?
I think that's smashing looking.
I got it from Pinky Lee's brain surgeon.
I do a biggie, he lays in a biggie. Filling in for Doc, who's filling in for Ed, who's down in Cypress Gardens doing something, is Mr. Excitement, Mr. Tommy Newsom. I shouldn't say this, but like many musicians, Tommy had a drinking problem. His skin broke out from too much yoo-hoo. No, I found out, Tommy actually wanted to be a doctor ever since the day he got his little toy medical kit, which was last Thursday.
It's fun playing, though, isn't it?
What?
Fun playing that game.
You just learned that game, huh, Jory? Oh. Gonna play doctor with Becky Lou. Ed is filming a Cypress Gardens water special?
Yeah.
For NBC, I guess. They wanted Ed up on skis, but I understand the Queen Mary isn't busy anymore. What? Isn't busy? I don't know. Or not working or something. What happened today? You read about President Nixon flying all the way to Alaska to meet with Emperor Hirohito? I understand they didn't do much for economic gains, but I understand Nixon got a great deal on a Sony portable. I don't know. You know, our show is seen in Alaska, and the nights up there, you know, sometimes are, 6 months long? Can you imagine watching 6 months of commercials? Gee, and those trips to the bathroom got to be murder. But anyway, Oh, President Nixon also, a picture was in the paper today. Did you see yesterday he played Happy Birthday on the piano for Mamie Eisenhower, and somebody gave a copy of the lyrics to Vice President Agnew, and he sang along. But political humor doesn't seem to find much favor lately, does it, for some reason? You ever heard the President Nixon play the piano? He makes Harry Truman sound like Peter Nero. Well, let's see, what else? How can I get in trouble? Oh, did you know there's going to be a water shortage? I don't want you to worry about this tonight, but city officials said that there's going to be a water shortage in this city by the year 1980. Isn't that interesting? But you will not have to worry, because I understand we're going to run out of air in 1974. So it doesn't make any difference. We got a good show tonight. We have Mr. Paul Harvey, well-known commentator, columnist, newspaper reporter. Dick Haymes is with us. Yeah. Larry Kert from Company. Who am I leaving out? Louise Lasser. And we have two young gentlemen I have not yet met who are the winners of the National Harmonica Contest. A lot of you have written in saying when we're going to have the winners of the National... We got them right here. So we'll be with you in just 1 minute. We'll return in a moment after a word from one of our sponsors.
This year, American Motors can make this promise. If anything goes wrong with one of our 72s, we'll fix it free. One reason we can do this is more people are making more checks than ever before to be sure our cars are right when they leave the factory.
At the dealers, we're doing something most dealers don't. Road testing and double-checking every single car we get. Then I sign this form. Before I put my name on it, everything's got to be just right.
A lot of car dealers don't like to talk about what happens after you buy the car. Well, I do. Here's our guarantee. When you buy a new 72 from us, American Motors guarantees that except for tires, we'll pay for the parts and the labor to fix anything that goes wrong that's our fault. Anything. We'll do this for 12 months or 12,000 miles at no cost to you. All you have to do is take reasonable care of the car, use it under normal conditions, and get it fixed by one of us dealers. And that's it.
Usually, if you have to leave your car overnight for warranty repairs, you walk or you're inconvenienced. Well, not here or at most other dealers. We'll loan you a nice, clean car, free.
For years, people have passed the buck about car service problems. But when you buy a 72 from us, you get a name and toll-free number in Detroit to call if you have a problem. And I promise you'll get action, not a runaround.
American Motors Buyer Protection Plan. Nobody in the business does as much for you after you buy a car.
You know, it's homecoming time again. That's right, you've said so long to summer, and now you're saying hello again to your home. And just in time, to make that homecoming really happy, Lucite Paint is having a happy homecoming sale. So right now, get on down to your participating Lucite retailers and save big on Lucite paints. Give the place a bright new fall coat, inside and out, with Lucite from DuPont, and get a happy homecoming going.
Hair, but sometimes it's tough to control, like especially after shampooing.
Not anymore. Control is easy now.
I don't want something greasy or plastic.
Haven't you heard about protein 29 aerosol yet?
Like some of those stiff girl sprays?
Now, it's a man's groom in aerosol form. A light mist so you get just enough control. But it's especially terrific after showers because the control the shampooing takes out, protein 29 puts back.
Protein 29 puts back the control that shampooing takes out.
Oh, yeah, I see you're on Dinah's place tomorrow. Dinah's yours show tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. I was on with Dinah. I was in Dinah's kitchen. And I just wore some...
That was it, huh?
Yes. No, I did a number where I wore about half a dozen different outfits. You know, they changed it all and everything. It's kind of fun.
What'd you cook?
Something called an Eastern Oregon Depression dish. Goes back to the days of the Depression, when you took a lot of...
Is there a big call for that? Eastern Oregon Depression dish?
Yeah, you take inexpensive foods and put them in a casserole and you cook them for hours, and that's what you eat because you don't have much money, and it tastes terrible.
Listen.
That's sort of the
What
way...
is that?
That's our air conditioner.
Haven't had it on all summer. You turn it on in September. The hell is that? I've never heard that in August when it was hot. 61 degrees out, they turn on the air conditioning. I don't know. Something's wrong somewhere. Is that what that is?
That's it.
We'll know shortly.
Why haven't we ever heard that before? Listen to that. You hear that? 9 years I've been doing this. I never heard that. They turned on the air conditioning.
Sounds like a subway train.
It does. I thought the subway was going through or something. Are you all cool? That's weird. All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
I thought they were, Is it just me, or am I hearing something?
Whoops. What is that?
Now, come on! It's my old war injuries kicking up on me again. What is that wild sound? Somebody's putting us on. What?
It's like the beginning of the tremors of an earthquake. Recall that? You know that
Don't say that. We don't know. New York has never had an earthquake, and geographically,
well, we haven't one.
Is not able to have an earthquake, according to great seismologists.
What great seismologist?
I know, Harry seismologist. What do I know? We're talking with our unit manager, Elmer Gorey. He's going to figure this out. Elmer's very technical-minded. Big sound, Elmer. Make noise. He'll go back to our technicians. What did he say? Big sound making noise.
That could be Ed McMahon walking around up there.
Yeah. Rolled over in his army cot. You bought a horse, I understand, unintentionally. You went to a horse auction?
Oh, yes. Saturday I went to a horse auction down in Oklahoma.
This is what he does for his weekends.
I learned a lesson. When you're at a horse auction, don't wave at friends.
Don't tell me.
No, you know, because that's the way you indicate your bid. A little cool little thing like that. And this guy's going on, and I see a fellow I know with a Rossard Feasley, and I say, like that, and the guy says, bam, we got a buyer out there.
And he came out
and this girl comes over to me with a thing to sign. I was too embarrassed not to sign it.
So you got a horse?
Yes, for a lot of money.
Just for saying hi there?
That's it. Say hi there.
Aren't there prearranged signals that you're supposed to do?
That was it.
You didn't know. Well, are you going to race him? And you're supposed to say, yeah, and I think I can beat him. Don't you remember that? All righty.
Well, I was going to say
We're digging up everything tonight. You want me to do this commercial first? Or do we then we'll have the young boys out here. One I understand is between 5 and 12. They're two different winners tonight. We'll do this first and return after a word from one of our sponsors. Prestone is the sponsor.
Colebrook, New Hampshire, 32 below. We trust Prestone.
Ely, Minnesota, 34 below. We trust Prestone. Chicago.
Call the roll of America's coldest places, and you'll find people who trust Prestone antifreeze. The right mix of Prestone and water will protect against freeze down to minus 84 degrees, if you want.
Fairbanks, Alaska, 52 below. We trust Prestone. New Hampton, New Hampshire.
If you can't trust Prestone, who can you trust?
Former football great Sam Huff is still tough in his workouts and in his work around the house.
That's why I use Alpha cleanup bags. They're tough, made of strong plastic, and there's no bottom seam to split open. There's a tough Alpha cleanup bag for every cleanup job.
And now, inside specially marked Alpha Yard Leaf packages, you get 2 famous ever-ready batteries, a 60-cent value free at participating stores.
Hoover's compact spin drying washer. It's stronger than dirt, stronger than stains. Not only does it wash clothes faster than the big automatics, Hoover's unique washing action surges water through clothes, gets them incredibly clean. The space-saving, money-saving spin drying washer, Hoover's Little Wash Day Miracle.
Available at all Woodward and Lothar department stores.
Shell invites you to share a soda with a close friend. We'll supply the glass. You supply the friend. Get a gigantic 15-ounce glass free every time you buy 8 gallons or more at a participating Shell station. Offer may vary at participating stations.
We have a couple of young gentlemen we would like you to meet now. Both of them won the National Harmonica Contest. It was held in 32 cities. There were over 60,000 contestants, and there were two age groups, 5 to 12 and 13 to 18 years old. Now, only amateurs, I understand, competed in the contest, and actually what it was a project to give youngsters something to work for during the summer. And the prizes were a bicycle camera, AM, FM radio, and a $500 savings bond. Would you welcome, please, Joel Landsberg and Steve Tracy. Fellas. You must be Joel, huh?
Yes.
How old are you, Joel?
I was just 12 this summer.
Just 12 this summer, huh? What'd you do on your birthday? Do you remember?
I went to Howard Johnson's.
Went to Howard Johnson's, huh? Where's hometown for you?
Well, I was spending the summer out in Nassau, but I live in Queens.
Did you ever... Now, somebody told me you never played the harmonica before this contest, or you heard about the contest. Is that right?
Well, I entered through the camp I was going to, and before that I never played.
Yeah. Did you have to practice a lot?
Well, you might say that, yes.
Yeah. Somebody make you practice, or did you want to practice?
My mother made me practice.
Yeah, usually you don't want to practice a piano or any musical instrument when you're young, but when you get older, you'll wish you had. Steve, where are you from?
I'm from Cincinnati.
How long did you play this instrument before at all?
I've been playing for about a year and a half.
Uh-huh. Somebody said you were interested in becoming a professional musician?
That would be nice. I'd like to keep on playing and writing too. I like to write.
Can you write too? Have you written any scores yet? You?
Well, not music. I don't write out musical things. I write articles. I wrote an article. I wrote 2 articles for a magazine called Blues Unlimited.
Hey, that's great. You want to be a professional musician too, Joel?
Well, I'm thinking about doing that, yes.
Yeah. How would you like to end up playing with a band like Tonight Show Band?
I'd enjoy it very much.
We got our first harmonica seat open. If Harold keeps it up, we'll have one open pretty soon. The whole section will be a harmonica. Where's school? Where do you go to school?
I go to school in Forest Hills. It's Russell Sage Junior High School.
You have a steady girlfriend over there?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Just keep a free mind on that. You're talking to one who knows, Joe. Okay, who's
How do you know that?
Hmm?
How do you know that?
How do I know that? Steve is going to be the loser here. Which one of you guys is going to play first?
I'm going to play first.
All right, is this your own composition, or is this a regular standard?
This is a song called Off the Wall, and it was first done by a harmonica player named Little Walter.
Okay, you all set?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here is Steve Tracy. 27, it's all yours, Steve. You pump a lot of music out of that.
Thank you.
Did you ever play with a band before? Did you play with a band in the contest at all, or was this?
No, the contest is all you're supposed to play by yourself.
Yeah.
But back in Cincinnati, I played with a few groups, Albert
groups?
Washington and...
Sounds good. I forgot to ask you what grade you were in then. How old
I'm in
were
the
you?
12th grade. I'm 17 years old.
Good. Okay, now, Joel, you all set?
Why not?
No, why not, huh? That's what I... Why not? Even our band was applauding. They don't applaud much, Joe. At all. That's very good.
Thank you.
You both won some money now, I understand, in this contest, right? You got any plans for it yet?
Not at the moment, no.
Not at the moment, huh? How about you, Steve?
I think I'll use it to go to college.
Go on and continue your music career in college?
Mm-hmm.
Good. You going to stay with the harmonica now, or would you like to go on to another instrument?
Well, I play a few other assorted instruments, but...
Oh, you do?
Yes.
What are these other assorted instruments?
Piano, organ, drums. I play a little bit guitar, violin. I'm taking bass fiddle in school, and I just started the harmonica.
Oh. You're 12?
Do you play anything,
He's
Mr.
12.
Carson?
No,
Play
at
anything?
his age, I was trying to sort my socks. If I got out of the house, one with the same color on each leg, I had a good day. No. Well, that's real good. Well, you've both got some talent. I hope you keep it up. And congratulations. I thank you for being with us. Thank you, Joe. See you soon. Keep it up. On the contrary, you at that age were deep in the trumpet by then, right? You started at what age?
Oh, I was 7 when I started.
7 years old.
Yeah.
Originally the fiddle, though, right?
I tried it at the very beginning. I just couldn't make a go of it, man. I couldn't stand it. It was the worst thing you ever heard in your life.
You're one of those real...
But I've always I like to play things like the harmonica. I bought one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to
We've all bought one at one time or another. Nobody hasn't had a harmonica.
Right.
At one time or another.
Maybe you and I
Yes.
could become a team with the harmonica.
That's why Ross took up the piano instead of the violin. Nobody ever set a glass of beer on a violin. We'll return in a moment, right after a word from our sponsor. That's going away.
Who says you can't have a washer in your own apartment? Not Maytag. Introducing the new Maytag Porta Washer. Stores almost anywhere. It's portable. No installation. You just roll it up to a sink. Washes in 4 minutes, spin dries in 1. For a complete portable laundry almost anywhere, add a Porta Dryer. New Porta Washer, Porta Dryer. Only by Maytag. The dependability people.
If you ever suffer from acid indigestion, this little tablet contains one of the most effective medicines ever discovered for it. In tests at a famous college, it proved to neutralize excess acid in a matter of seconds. Prepared for a little shock, it's Tums, now in 5 flavors. It'll make your stomach feel better now.
This man thinks he has a cold. Summer's over. He's been sneezing and sniffling for weeks. But he doesn't have a cold. He has an allergy. It could be from plants, the rug, dust, or something else. If he can't get rid of everything he might be allergic to, he can take Allerest. Allerest relieves stuffy noses and watery eyes. Allerest doesn't get rid of your allergy. It just lets you live with it.
I think it's a good idea for women to educate their children to the various tastes around the world. And Bird's Eye International recipes are a good start. For instance, the Mexican vegetables are wonderful with hamburgers. The corn and peas with kidney beans in that mild, chili-flavored sauce. I wish they'd had them when I was a little girl. I'd have eaten more vegetables.
One of the international recipe vegetables.
Reed and Malloy hunt a narcotics pusher tomorrow night at 8, 7 Central Time.
More pork sausages, Mom. Please.
Of all the good things we can eat.
Of all the good things we repeat, there's nothing that you can do us quite so as that famous flavor from Parks. Famous flavor from Parks. More pork sausages, Mom, please.
This message is for employers who need either full or part-time help. Over 60 Counseling and Employment Service has a large register of reliable, mature, experienced employees willing and ready to go to work right now. This is a free community service, no fees involved. Call 652-9339 for details. The number again, 652-9339.
WRC-TV, Channel 4, Washington. Put some sport in your transportation with savings on a new Sport Chevrolet at the Montgomery Auto Sales Park.
Why don't you practice the harmonica in some night in the next week or so? Being a musician of great talent, that shouldn't be difficult to pick up for you, should it?
A week or so?
Well, just a simple little tune.
Maybe we could work out a deal.
Uh-oh.
On the night that you do your big extravaganza on impressions, especially the Bogart, then I'll get out the harmonica.
I figured that was coming.
What can we get Ed to do?
Well, a little help, he can sit up. Boy, going back and picking up all those old jokes. My next guest has been with us before. He is starring in the award-winning musical Company. He's completed a Bell telephone special on George Gershwin, and he was a pretty good gymnast one night. Remember when we had Abe Grossman on the show? Yeah. And he worked with Abe Grossfeld, not Grossman, Olympic champion. He's also originally, I think, in West Side Story on the Broadway stage, or was it the movie version? I have all these facts at my disposal, friends. Pick whatever you want. Would you welcome Larry Kert? Are those the secret papers?
Right.
Oh.
The movie version of West Side. Huh?
In the movie? No, you were in the stage version of West Side Story. Movie version. Both of them.
Right.
You weren't in either one.
No, I was in the stage play.
That's right, of
Richard
course.
Beamer did my part in the movie. And they won 11 Academy Awards, and they would have won 12.
If you had a... Richard Beamer, whatever happened to Richard? You know where Richard Beamer is from originally?
No.
Avoca, Iowa.
Really?
What's so funny about that, LaSalle? The only reason I knew that is because I am from Avoca, Iowa.
I thought you were from Nebraska.
I am from, well, I lived in Avoca, Iowa also before I moved to Nebraska. But Richard Beamer's from Avoca. It's a town of about 2,000 people.
I thought it was Corning.
What?
I thought it was Corning.
I was born in Corning, Iowa. But I lived in Red Oak, Shenandoah, Clarinda, and Avoca before I moved to Nebraska. And Richard Beamer, which I know a lot of you have been asking, where is Richard Beamer from? He's from Avoca.
He's a terrific photographer, yeah.
Another Richard Beamer fact, little known. Tomorrow night we're going to have the Richard Beamer Film Festival here. We're doing a lot for Richard Beamer. What about you? Somebody told me you were a hero the other night. You were involved in some fracas or something?
Yeah, well, not to publicize the fact that I was a hero, that people are always talking about how to help a neighborhood or how to help a community from people that burglarize the neighborhood. The other night I was in bed around 10:30, and we have a system we have 2 blocks down in the village, and we have an organization, and we have whistles. And if the first time somebody sees something strange or sees somebody on a fire escape or somebody entering a building illegally, they blow a whistle, and then somebody else immediately calls the cops, and the whistles start blowing, and I heard these whistles. I looked out my window, and I saw a man walking out of an apartment building across the street that I know he didn't live in. And he started walking down the middle of the street, and everybody came out on the street and tried to stop him. He wouldn't stop. And so I put my clothes on. I ran downstairs, and I went up to him, and I said, look, you better stop. You were just...
Like that?
Yeah. I said, you better not go any further. You were just seen on a fire escape. He said, get away from me, buddy. And before I even thought, I grabbed him by the arms. I threw him down to the ground. Just then, thank God, the police car came, and they handcuffed him. They put him up. They fingerprinted him and found out he has had 12 arrests and been let go every time.
Good Lord.
The problem is that the police, I called Sergeant Guantamo at the 6th Precinct, and he told me that unless the public, a person makes an arrest, they cannot make an arrest. They must have
In other words, that's
somebody.
like a citizen's arrest, right?
And they have to have somebody that makes a complaint. Now, I did not see him on the fire escape. I only saw him. My evidence would have been hearsay.
Right.
So they drove around the corner, they took the handcuffs off, and they let him go.
Are you serious?
Yeah. When I found that out, I called Sergeant Guantamo, and I said, I don't understand this. And they said, well, nobody who saw him on the fire escape is willing to testify. They're frightened of their lives, they're frightened that something will happen once the man gets out. So I went across the street to a woman and had talked to her and convinced her to identify this man in court. So Sergeant Guantamo called the squad car. They went and picked him up 4 blocks away where he was casing another building. They got him back in the car, and when they brought him in, they fingerprinted him and found out that he had been fingerprinted 12 times before in that neighborhood. He'd burglarized 12 homes within a 5-block radius of our area.
And he's still out?
No. They caught him, and the woman went down and identified him, and I told her, I said, if you don't identify this man, he'll be around time and time again. And my house was broken into, a house down the street was broken into, a house across the street was broken into. And he was apprehended. The thing that I don't want to sell myself that I apprehended the man. The thing is that we finally found a system in our neighborhood that works, that whistle system, and people are always complaining and saying, what are we going to do to help our neighborhood? Well, it's not a bad idea to try that whistle system, because within 3 minutes the cops were there.
What happens if the doorman goes out to get somebody a cab? I mean,
I live in a private house.
I was thinking of that awful scene,
Right.
When you was telling about grabbing the guy, that's kind of frightening, because I can see him pulling out a whistle.
Yeah, a big whistle.
Everybody's got whistles.
Yeah, with a little trigger
That's not a bad idea.
Well, I was so close to him that I knew that before he could pull out any kind of weapon, I could have grabbed him. And there were about 25 people standing around the street doing nothing. And
I don't know whether I would have had or the average person would have had the courage to do that, though.
Well, I know I went upstairs and just practically collapsed because the adrenaline had left my body at that time, and I got very nervous.
You wouldn't have known, or you could have been armed, or...
Sure. But I did it, and of course, I have a dog that I could have taken with me to apprehend him, but she would have taken a little of the glory away from me, so I didn't do it.
Flip the dog home.
Right.
Yeah, the dog would have got that. Put the picture of the dog in the paper,
Sure.
and that would have been it.
With my hand and the
That's all
leash,
it says.
right.
Held by the owner. Dogs and kids always get upstage. Yeah. Big close-up of the dog. Hey, that's amazing, though.
But it was a frightening experience, I must say. It's the
The
first time
whistle
I've ever
system
done
is not so bad.
But
In
that
certain
whistle system
neighborhoods, it
was
would work pretty
terrific.
well, wouldn't it?
It was so quick. I couldn't believe how fast the cops responded to it.
That is weird. I've been scared to death, to tell you the truth. Don't know what I would have done. You do raise dogs, somebody told me.
Yeah, I raise Ibethan hounds.
Ibethan hounds?
Yeah.
My favorite dog. What's an
I-B-I-Z-A-N. The Z is
I-B-
pronounced T-H.
Ibethan hounds.
Ibethan. They're from an island called Ibiza, off the coast of Spain, one of the Balearic Islands. You know, Mallorca and all those islands.
What are they like?
They are a combination of a fawn and a jackal. They look like
He's
a
what?
jackal.
You have the dog?
I have a dog, one of them with me, who is the first Ibethan hound in the United States to win a CD degree in obedience.
Is that right?
And I have some
Are you
pictures.
serious?
Yeah, I do. I really did brought her because she is terrific. These are a couple of pictures of her pups.
I'm not familiar. I don't know if you can see this close up or not. It's taken through a grill work there.
These are 4 of them.
Ibethan.
This is the one I had backstage. She forgot her sunglasses. Can you see? It looks like she's smiling. And these are 2 incredible because they look like racehorses.
That they do. That is strange. They look like small.
And while I was going through my pictures, this was an accident.
Who's this? That was the robber you apprehended on the street.
She won first place at the Westminster Dog Show.
Dog Show.
That's Marty Charnin's daughter. You know the guy that
That's
wrote
cute.
that Mama song.
Right.
She just happened to be in all those pictures.
Can we see the dog?
Yeah, if you want to.
We'll do this first. All right, we'll do this, and we'll get your the Ibethan.
Ibethan.
All right. One out of America's. Well, yes. Excuse me. Right? No, it's wrong. Out of America.
Out of America's beginning, where a craftsman's integrity was everything, comes a furniture for today. Kraler's Cape Cod. Cape Cod, the authentic look of yesteryear, the no-nonsense construction of yesteryear, but the bright, colorful, performance-tested fabrics of today, like Herculon. Cape Cod, beautiful, versatile, built with Kraler's uncompromising integrity.
Now, you'd think furniture like this would be expensive, wouldn't you? Well, it's not. This Kraler Cape Cod furniture can be yours on a modest budget. See it in the special Kraler collection for Debut 72, America's first national home fashion event. Call this number, toll-free, for your nearest Kraler dealer.
When life urges you on, do your feet say, forget it? Maybe you need copies. The terrific way they look is only half of it. The other half is the terrific way they feel. Wear copies, because you'll never get anywhere without your feet.
See Honda in soft, luscious, crinkle patent leather at the Heck Company.
Now you're going to see why Contact talks about early cold care. 600 tiny Tide pills. The sooner they're in your system, the sooner you'll feel relief. Just one Contact capsule helps your sneezing, runny nose, even head cold congestion up to 12 hours. But you've got to get started. Take Contact. Take it early. Get early cold care. Don't wait. Contact is the head cold medicine.
Let's take a look at your. Well, what's the name?
Dido.
Dido. Do you have to go get her?
Yeah, I'll get her.
And you ever seen an Ibethan hound before?
Never even heard of it.
Another first, folks. Oh, that is different. Oh. That's a pretty dog. Oh, she's lovely.
Now, what I did is I took her to a group called the Hollywood Dog Obedience Club in Los Angeles.
She really trained?
And, yeah. And, well, I trained her for obedience because she became the first Ibethan hound in the United States to win a CD degree, which is a champion. Dido, heel. Stay. Dido, come. Dido, heel. That was dead wrong. Come here.
Really? Look good to me.
Dead wrong. Stay. What she's supposed to do is come and sit in front of you.
Oh, I see.
And stay, and then when you give her another command, she
Turn
walks
around.
around.
All right.
Dido, come. Dido, heel.
Good. Beautiful.
Dido, come. Dido, heel. Dido, heel.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
And you know, she has the thing, Dido. Down. Dido, down. Stay. Now this is another exercise. What they do is they leave, you have to leave her in that position for
Right.
5 minutes. And you go away out of sight. I'm supposed to completely leave the
Right.
area. And she has to stay. And then at the end of the 5 minutes, the judges blow a whistle. Some guy come and beat you up.
That's amazing.
Dido, heel. Good.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, you know, there's one little... Dido, give me a smile. Give me a smile. Give me a smile. Give me a smile. Now, hey. Oh, she should have sung the other. Give me a smile. Give me a smile. Give me a smile. Give me a smile. Come here. This is so boring. Dido, give me a smile. No, she can. She's an incredible pet around. She's an incredible pet. She's an incredible watchdog. She has a thing. I had some food for her in the dressing room.
Yeah.
She ate it all up. You throw a piece of food out, and she immediately lays down.
Right.
And she will not touch it until she's on command. And I did that because on the street, you
So
know,
they don't pick up
tendency
things,
to
right?
pick up so much stuff. Anyway,
You're beautifully trained.
isn't she terrific?
Beautifully.
Dido, sit. Dido, shake hands. Come on. Yeah, your other one. The other one. Okay, good. Hey, that's great. Thank you, Larry. Okay, I'll give it a kiss. Go on.
Sheila,
Go on. Who's back?
that's the way, if you're going to have a dog, that's the way to have a dog trained. Yeah. That's the way. I know people who have dogs, and you come to their house, and this brontosaurus comes charging across, you know, and right in your lap, and the hostess says, he doesn't do that to everybody. He likes you, and you're trying to get this brontosaurus out of your lap.
I had a friend who had a dog that was an enormously playful dog, and he would run. As soon as you came in the door, the dog would run and leap on you. Well, he decided as a joke, when the next person that came in, he had some friends coming over, he would say my dog, Dido, kill. And as the man walked in, he said, Dido, kill, and the dog leaped on him. The guy didn't know. The guy almost had a heart attack.
I think that would do it. You're going to do a song for us tonight. What is this one tonight?
This is a song written by Rod McCune.
Right.
A song called Children One and All. And a lot of times, Rod McCune writes very abstract, kind of innocuous
Some of it is
songs.
a little nebulous,
You know, it's, they don't mean a great deal. A lot of times he got very involved in that poetry thing and those books that sold a great deal to a lot of simple-minded people. But every once in a while I find a song that he's written or that somebody's written that means something to me.
Right.
And this lyric meant a great deal to me, and if I can remember the lyric, I'm having trouble remembering it. I will do it.
Love to hear it.
Okay.
Love to hear it.
Some of us live in big white houses, some of us live in small. Some of our names are written on blackboards, some are written on the wall. Some of our daddies work in factories, some of them stand in line. Some of our daddies buy us marbles, some of them just buy wine. But at night you can't tell party dresses from hand-me-downs too small. Then we're only children, children one and all. Some of us take our lunch in boxes, some in paper sacks. Some of us kids join in the laughter, some hear it at our backs. Some of our mothers sew fine linen, some can't sew a stitch. Some of our mothers dress up poorly, some of them dress up rich. But at night you can't tell Sunday suits from tattered overalls. Then we're only children,
children, one and all. Some of us learn our lessons poorly, some of us learn them well. Some of us find an earthly heaven, some of us live in hell. Some of us go right on a-preaching without making too much sense. Some of us hide behind a wall, some behind a fence. But at night you can't tell picket fences from bricks that tower tall. Then we're only children, children one and all. Some of us grow up tall and handsome, some of us grow up plain. Some of us own the world in ransom, some of us just our name. Some of our people die in misery, some of them die in peace. Some of our people die for nothing, but dying doesn't cease. And at night we can't tell fancy coffins from boxes in the hall. Then we're only children, children, one and all.
Stay tuned. We'll return in a moment after a word from one of our sponsors.
The greenhouse, they raise a very exotic crop. Beautiful women. Now, Charles of the Ritz brings you a taste of the fabulous greenhouse. Its special diets, exercises, and beauty secrets. All this plus this special bonus, yours with any $5 purchase from Charles of the Ritz. Available at all Woodward and Lothrop stores, September 27 through October 9th.
When it gets hot, you get wet. You get wet, you get odor. This is Stay Dry Antiperspirant. It uses a special deodorant that helps stop odor, even at 200 degrees. We set out to prove it. At 90, the subject removed his coat. Stay Dry was working. At 115, he removed everything. Stay Dry was working. At 130, he removed himself. Stay Dry was still working. We know Stay Dry Antiperspirant keeps working at 200 degrees. All we need is a volunteer who will.
This is Mike Douglas. Our next show features co-hostess Peggy Cass, John Forsythe, Catherine and Arthur Murray, Tim Rossovich, Fanny Flagg, and Mr. Jiggs, the world's smartest chimp.
Would you like to, Jiggs, would you like to pose for a picture with Peggy? Would you like to pose for a picture with Peggy?
We'll do better than that, Mike. We'll let him take a picture.
Will you take a picture of Peggy? Will you?
Sure. Come on, Jiggs. This is the only chimp in the world.
I'm talking to him like he understands, and I think he does.
Sure. Okay.
Didn't I meet you at the roller derby once?
All right. Wait. Did you see him cock the shutter? Here. Up,
Wait a
up,
minute.
Up. Up. Hey, up. Shoot it. Okay. Shoot it. Pull the film out. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Come on, let's go. 10 seconds. Watch it. 10 seconds.
Join Mike and his friends tomorrow afternoon at 4:30.
How long have you been in the production company now? I know you got to run there and
I
go
got
back
to
to
run
work.
17 months.
That's a long,
Yeah, it's a long time. I remember last time somebody said I got in trouble a little by saying that I was bored with the show. I was misunderstood because it's not that I'm bored with the show. The routine of doing the show every night, you know, putting everything. But once that curtain goes up, something happens.
Come back and see us soon, will
I
you?
sure will, John.
And thanks for bringing
Thank
that
you.
dog.
Yeah,
Safe. My next guest has been with us before. She's starring in the new Woody Allen movie Bananas. She also has a starring role in the soon-to-open Otto Preminger film Such Good Friends. Probably television viewers know her best as the warm, compassionate Mildred in the Vicks NyQuil ads. I know. Would you welcome Louise Lasser? I find myself doing that tagline all the time now.
Do you?
I know.
I know.
It covers almost everything, doesn't it? I remember last time you said you just you ad-libbed that in during the commercial when you were doing it.
I know. It just came. He said you're a good
wife, Mildred, and I said, I know. And that's how it came
I
about
know.
to be. Yeah, yeah.
You just completed a picture with Mr. Preminger,
Yeah,
huh?
I did.
Yeah. Now, I hear all those tales. You
Yes.
know, that he is a tyrant, an ogre, a martinet, a hassock. Not a hassock, the other three, but...
Yeah.
I mean, he's a difficult man.
hassock?
A hassock.
Is
I
that
don't know.
like one of those...
Footstool,
ottoman-
yeah.
a
I don't know why it
footstool?
said that. It just had an
Yeah.
extra one left over.
Well, he is a bit of a footstool.
Is he
Yes.
is he tough to work with?
It's terrifying. I mean, really, it's just a very frightening kind
What were the
of
roles he
experience.
played in the motion pictures in Stalag 17? Did he not play the
Yeah.
German officer?
He's really, a very kind man. It's just that he does have a violent temper, and it does get to him quite often. I mean, you feel it when you're there. You definitely are aware of his presence
he's
on
there.
the set. Oh, yeah, you can't walk, you can't talk, you can't move. You just have no idea how it is that you function in normal life, when you're with him. But really not.
Did you ever have any problems with him personally at all? Or?
No, he did. The funniest story I think about him, really everybody is so terrified of him. Ken Howard, who is an actor in Tell Me That You Love Me, Junie Moon, tells this story about how one day on the set, Preminger, they had a shot where they had to get an owl and get a shot of the owl and then get the owl looking down. So the crew was supposed to get the shot. So Preminger comes on the set after about 2 hours and he says, "What is going on here? Why is this taking so long?" And they said, Mr. Preminger, we can't seem to get the owl to look down. And he looks up and he says, "Owl, look down!" And the owl looked down. Yeah.
You here, look down!
Like that.
That's-
The owl knew.
Even the owl knew.
Right.
But you had no... Somebody said he
No.
fired somebody once on a picture. Wasn't even in the picture? What was that?
No, I was there. He
Was
fired...
that it?
No, he fired... A lady was annoying him over in the corner. And he looked over and he said, "Madam, you're fired." And she said, "I don't work here." And he said, "You're fired anyway."
Didn't care.
He didn't care. It didn't make any difference.
Yeah, I hear that he can
Yeah.
throw actors into a trauma, really.
Oh, yeah, he does.
And he's not as... I think he kind of really secretly likes that
He
reputation.
feels,
I think
from
a
what-
little bit like David Merrick, who is not as intolerable as everybody would make him believe. But he gets to be part myth and part truth. And I think they like that attitude now.
Yeah,
because it
well,
does
I
psych
think
people
that he
out.
also feels like he will get someone terribly upset before an emotional scene, and they won't connect the two, and then they'll start crying, and he'll turn on the cameras and shoot it. I just don't know if I approve of that way of working. I don't think you get the most creative work out of you people to work that way. You get work, and you get them to cry, but it's, they're crying because Preminger yelled at them, not
a little
because
harsh,
of some
yeah.
emotional thing.
Ends to the mean.
Yeah. Now, he was really nice to me. I really learned a lot on that. I mean, he was once he said to me, he gave me an almost compliment, right?
An almost.
And he said to me, "Why didn't you look up? Why do you always look down? You have beautiful eyes. You have fairly good eyes."
He gave it, and that didn't quite fit the image, so he took it back.
Changed it.
Hey, you got
But
eyes.
he was really quite nice.
So they ain't eyes.
Yeah. I said, "Fairly good eyes."
From beautiful
Shattered
to
for
fairly
the next
good.
shot. Yeah.
Were you happy with this picture? I mean, do you like what you did in it?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
It's a cameo role, and I liked it. Yeah, I really did learn a lot. I mean, I was terrified the first day, and then got calmer and calmer and
They
calmer.
say it's fascinating. Do we have to do a commercial here, or can we? We have to always do a commercial here. Now my bag of sugar. Now, here's Doc with some tasty news from the folks at Domino Sugar.
Pure, fresh, fast-dissolving Domino granulated sugar has been a natural ingredient of good homemade candies for many a year. And now that Halloween is coming, I'd like to show you some of the candies that will make homemade candy a treat to be remembered. Old-fashioned rock candy, candied apples, popcorn balls, and homemade taffy made with Domino granulated sugar and extra easy no-cook chocolate fudge made with Domino 10X confectioner's powdered sugar. Halloween or any time of the year, homemade candy is always fun to make and fun to eat. And it makes a great rainy day activity for children of all ages. But see for yourself. Send for your free Domino sugar recipe booklet. It'll show you how easy it is to make homemade candy as well as many other good things. Just send your name and address to Domino Recipes, Post Office Box 1, Brooklyn, New York, 11202. Give all these fine Domino products a try, and you'll see why women everywhere are using Domino sugar to help bring back the good taste of homemade for their families.
You'll love the amazing Handy Screen. You'll find dozens of uses for the Handy Screen. Melt butter or chocolate without burning, steam rolls or buns to an appetizing softness, strain noodles or vegetables. So why not put an end to the dangers of hot spattering grease and save hours of cleanup time with the amazing Handy Screen from BBI.
The Handy Screen is available exclusively at People's Drugstores. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Ajax doesn't streak, even with the sun shining. It cuts grease and gets into crevices.
I feel I do less work with Ajax. I spray it on, and dirt just kind of disintegrates.
These women switch from another window cleaner to Ajax with more ammonia. Why do they prefer Ajax?
Ajax has more ammonia. It makes window cleaning so easy, even my kids can help.
It's the ammonia.
I'm very happy with it. When I like something, I don't change.
Ajax with more ammonia in plastic bottles and spray cans.
Travel arrangements provided by United Airlines with the new DC-10 Friendship, the plane designed to please everybody.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde on Rod Serling's Night Gallery tomorrow night.
Want coffee, Erwin?
Sure, I'm a glutton for punishment.
It's a different coffee I'm trying.
Your coffee's always trying, Yolanda.
It has ground roast flavor.
It has ground roast flavor.
It's Taster's Choice from Nestle.
Whoop-de-doo.
Ah, but Erwin, it's the freeze-dried coffee that looks, smells, sounds, and tastes like ground roast. Ground roast flavor, Erwin. Perfect every time.
Ground roast.
What was that, Erwin?
Nothing.
Mm.
Hey, this coffee's terrific. Fantastic. Hey, when did you get your nose fixed?
6 years ago. When'd you go bald?
About 10 years ago.
Oh, you look very distinguished.
I think you look cute, too. Oh. Hello, stranger.
I love you.
I love you.
Join the beautiful people at Jamie Gore's East India Club, dining and discotheque under Jockey Club direction, Tuesday through Saturday, 2913 M Street, Georgetown.
Tommy gets rolling, it's not easy to stop. You gotta go right to the bench. We've got Dick Haymes joining us in a little while, and Paul Harvey. Where were you born? Where's home for you?
The Bronx.
The Bronx originally, huh?
Yes. Except I really had such a sheltered upbringing.
Did you really?
Yeah, I mean, my mother was like a true aristocrat. I had no idea it was the Bronx. You know, just none at all. No, really, I mean,
That's
like
fun.
a princess brought up. Not a Jewish princess,
Just
a real princess.
A real princess?
Yes, yes.
In what way? You mean your mother sheltered you?
Well, like when I was a little girl, you know, my dresses were made for me by the woman who made the clothes for the princesses of England.
Right.
You know, there I was on 156th Street in the Bronx wearing these beautiful hand-painted dresses. And, you know, in that way, I mean, I really thought, I mean, I didn't think it was a figure of speech. I really thought that a prince on a white horse
Was
gonna come and get me.
up the Marshall
Yeah.
Parkway and say, let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
You see a lot of guys up there on white chargers.
The trouble is, you know, I still think so.
You still think he's going to show?
Someone's
Did you
gonna
see the
come
show?
and get
David Susskind did a show a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about Jewish girls. And they
Yes.
had David Steinberg and Mel Brooks, and it was a very funny show. And I think it was David Steinberg he says, you know, Jewish girls always keep their eyes closed when they kiss. And David said, why do they do that? And he says, David says, because they can't stand to see anybody else having a good time. No truth to that?
That's true. Well, mine
Crazy
really
show.
wasn't that kind of it
Really?
really wasn't a Jewish princess. I mean,
Ah.
it really had a very fine, aristocratic English
Oh.
strain through
How
it.
about school? What kind of a school? Did you go to school?
Well, at first I went to a regular school and didn't make out too well there. Couldn't fit in.
Really?
I mean, no. I mean, I used to do really bad. I mean, once I stole in the 4th grade. I stole everybody's pen in the entire class. I mean, that's a feat to
Wiped
steal
out the whole
everyone's
class.
pen in the whole class. You know, I came home with this huge thing of pens.
Everybody steals, but
Yes,
the whole class you
yes. My parents, my father made me take it back, all of them back in a brown paper bag. You know, and the next day I had to give them out and say, this one is yours, and this one is yours.
got. Yeah.
Give the pens back, right.
What kind of a school did you finally go to?
Then I went to a very progressive school.
I mean, where they let you know, but when you say that, people mostly think it's you take your own pace, you do what you want to do, there's discipline is lacking.
Well, we voted on whether there was a God or not. You know.
Did
Yes.
God win or lose?
Yes. Well, it depended on which year you were in as to whether there was one or not.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
No, it was progressive. I mean, we used to play as an experiment. I was in a very experimental play. I flourished in this school. I really did.
It sounds like something you'd like, huh?
Oh, I really did. I mean, I felt like a person. I mean, we had on Friday afternoons, every Friday afternoon, what was called cookies, soda, and kissing. In the 4th grade, 8 years old. And
Cookies,
we
sodas,
had
and kissing.
kissing games. It was an experiment, quickly to be abolished the next year. I got a little carried away. But we had
Something has to
regular
go, cookies or kids, something, huh?
kissing games. You know, and the parents used to, you know, we'd then, you know, run after each other, chase each other to kiss one another. And the parents would say just, you know, my father would come home, my mother would say, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. They're running after each other, kissing each other. And he used to say, you better just leave them alone. The teacher said, leave them alone. You know, let them do what they want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, well, everybody played post office, didn't they, when they were kids?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, we also had, this is hard to believe. Now, this was not sanctioned by the school, of course, but we had a marriage club.
A marriage club?
You could marry a boy of your choosing.
What grade was
You
this?
had to, 8 years old.
8 years old.
4th and 5th grade, and you'd go home and just get parental consent, you know, to marry whomever you wanted. I married Alan.
Married Alan?
Married Alan. Didn't work out. Sucked his thumb.
And you got custody of the erasers, I suppose?
Right, everything. His wagon I got, you know, things like that.
That's weird.
Right, I got his allowance, you know, for the next year in the divorce.
Did this school have any effect on you later on as you grew up? Sounds like it would have some
What do you
kind of
mean?
psychological traumatic effect playing those games at that age.
Those games
Yeah.
at that age? No.
They weren't real games. You really thought you were kind of married.
Well, no. I mean, I wasn't settling down.
Well, you got to wait till the 9th grade for that.
Right. You know, you just got it all straightened out in your class, that's all.
That's weird. We got to stop again. All righty. We'll return in a moment after word from our sponsor.
Gee, it's no fun being a leftover anymore. Now we can't get all soggy and smelly like we did in flimsy paper bags, because now people are using hefty plastic scrap bags. Heck, they're leak-proof, got a permanent holder, tear-off ties, and they're less than a penny a bag. Say, where's Sweet Pea? Hey, wait for me!
Hefty scrap bags, the clean, inexpensive way to get rid of scraps.
Your carpets and rugs are one of your most important investments. And now you can help protect that investment and have carpets that look so new, feel so soft with Blue Luster. There's an easy-to-use Blue Luster shampooer for rent wherever Blue Luster is sold, and the special formula is safe for your finest rugs and carpets. The gentle foam removes the dirt and leaves your carpets soft and beautiful. Blue Luster shampooer where you see this display.
Could you make culottes that really fit? Or crochet a full-length dress? Or do this kind of needlework? We'll show you how in Golden Hands, a new guide to knitting, dressmaking, and needlecrafts. We'll show you how to begin or how to improve your skills. Golden Hands is in 75 weekly parts And in every part, there's something for everyone. The first 2 parts, for the price of one, is on sale now.
Some credit cards can buy you a meal in a restaurant. The American Express money card can buy you an elegant luncheon at the Four Seasons in New York. Or it can buy you a classic combination of French cuisine and scenery at Phuquet's in Paris, plus everything else from airfare to hotel rooms. I strongly recommend you apply for this one, the American Express money card for people who travel.
I've known Dick Haymes for, I suppose, 15 or 20 years. I have not seen him for quite a while because he's been living in Europe, but he's always been with the fine singers around. Mr. Dick Haymes, ladies and gentlemen. You look sensational.
Well, you look so good, I hate you.
I haven't seen you for has-been almost 8, 9 years, I guess.
Oh, more than that, John.
Yeah.
It was nice to talk about it because I haven't been back here for 10 years.
You were living in Europe for a while, I know.
Yeah.
You still in Europe?
Yeah. Yep, I live in Madrid, but I'm only 8 hours away, so if you got any gigs in mind.
Show up, huh?
Yeah.
Somebody said your career started right. You were working for NBC at one time, but not as a singer at the time, right?
No, as a matter of fact, I worked here back in 19 Frere.
That was just around corner.
Yeah. As a page boy. And I wasn't a very good page boy, John, because I kept going up to Studio 8H to listen to Toscanini and the NBC Symphony.
That's right.
So they warned me about 10 times, and I think the 13th time was a little bit much, so I got the axe. And, however, that's how I started.
Dave Garroway, I think, started at one time as a page here at NBC.
A lot of people did. You know, it seems to be sort of a stock company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's life?
Hey, you look great.
I feel good.
You
Real
look
good.
marvelous. I saw you on the box in California, and I said, wow, he looks younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, clean living actually does it.
There you go.
Trying to stay alive is what does it. What's life like in Madrid? Is it
Well, it's
slower? Obviously slower paced. Than
Yeah, it's
what is here.
very pleasant. Let me see. The average life starts. Should we take a businessman as a criterion? A businessman
Yeah.
gets to his office about 9 o'clock in the morning. At 1:30, he locks up the office and does whatever he wants to do till 5 o'clock. That includes the secretaries and so forth. And then at 5 o'clock, they're all back, and they work till about 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night.
In other words, they do have the siesta or whatever it is
Oh,
in the
yeah.
middle of the day. They
Yeah.
just stop, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. And I think it's a good thing for longevity. And a lot of people play tennis, and I play tennis 3 days a week. And they get things done. They don't get it done as quickly as we do here, but they get...
Yeah, this country
you know.
will probably never do that. It's too... you're in that cycle already of go, but you're probably right.
But it's all done eventually, you know, and it's very nice.
I've seen you since, not in person, but I see you occasionally making the rounds on the tube, some of the movies.
It doesn't look like me, but...
You made quite a few pictures in the 40s, working with, what was the one I saw? Was it with a Grable?
Yeah, I just worked with her again, you know.
That's right, you did a...
I did a Tennessee Ernie special, which we just put in the can last Tuesday. Can I plug it?
Sure.
It will be shown, ladies and gentlemen, October 29th in the evening. And it's quite a show. We've got Maureen O'Hara, with whom I also worked, and Betty Grable, and, of course, Ernie, and Gorshin. And it's, you know, it's just a great... it fell together beautifully. I saw some of the stuff. I didn't see the whole show, but I saw some of the stuff in the editing room, and it was a joy all the way through.
Yeah, great. You always played in those pictures. You're the boy next door, right? Type of part.
Yeah, I know.
Was that
I know.
The plot was, you know where it was going.
The boy
pretty
next
good.
door, yeah.
But they had some great songs in. I still remember wanting to sing one song that you sang.
Well, sing it.
No, I would not sing it, but I used to listen to that record over and over again. Seriously,
Yeah.
Little White Lies, which was had to sell millions.
Yeah, well, there's another one, too, that sold millions. You'll Never Know. I had You'll Never Know, yeah, and I had 9 goldies in those days, which meant something, you know. I guess it still means a lot.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
Do a few bars of either one. What do we got? Anything? You'll Never Know or a Little
Oh,
White Lies or
Russ.
anything.
Russ, you're on the spot. See? Hey, let's do it rubato, or it'll be like...
Just do it easy.
War and Peace. You'll never know just how much I miss you. You'll never know just how much I care. And if I tried, I still couldn't hide my love for you. You ought to know, for haven't I told you so 1,000,000 or more times? You went away and my heart went with you. I speak your name in my every prayer. If there is some other way to tell you I love you, I swear I don't know how. You'll never know if you want the high ending or the low ending.
Whatever.
I'll stand up for your high ending. Don't know now.
That sounds great. Your mother taught singing, didn't she?
Yeah.
For years.
She,
one of the fine teachers.
Fantastic teacher. She, you know, she's still playing Auntie Mame up there in Riverdale. But she's incredible. She's a marvelous woman. She really knew what she was doing. She taught me the basics of breathing and placing. And then, of course, my second teacher was a fellow called Tommy Dorsey.
Who taught a few people.
Yeah, he did. He has quite a echelon of people with whom, well, I mean, I think they should all give credit to Tom.
Yeah. It's good to see you again. It's good to have you back here. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after a word from one of our sponsors.
Run away from home tonight with Matus, the rosé wine that's like a trip to Portugal, where lovers walk along the beach of Nazaré, and the fisherman's stew, calderada, is like nothing else in the world. Come away with Matus.
Hey, 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 Matus Rosé.
Bring it on home.
When a man works hard, he wants a good, hearty meal. One I like is beef in wine and mushroom sauce over Uncle Ben's converted rice. It's made with a unique process that adds B vitamins, and Uncle Ben's removes the surface starch that makes rice stick, so it's always plump and fluffy. And Uncle Ben's has an instant version of famous converted rice called Quick Rice for perfect rice in 5 minutes. Or try one of the flavored rices. Serve your hard-working man an Uncle Ben's meal.
I'm going to show you how to turn this bag of man's potato chips into a bag of sunshine potato chips. Amazing? I'll do it again. Man's potato chips have become sunshine potato chips. The flavor? The same crispy, crunchy, delicious flavor you knew as man's, now in the bright, bold, new striped sunshine bag. Remember, the freshest ideas keep coming from Sunshine.
Do you like handy wipes for dishes? Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Watch. Shine a light through a handy wipe and see? Handy wipes are honeycombed rayon. Thousands of tiny vents made to pick up dirt, then rinse cleaner to stay fresher, to use again and again. That's why handy wipes are the best way to wash dishes. Honeycombed handy wipes. Best for 1,001 cleaning jobs.
My next guest has long been one of this country's most successful news commentator. He's seen on something like 126 television stations, heard on over 450 radio stations, read in over 300 newspapers. Would you welcome, please, Mr. Paul Harvey. You, it's sitting back. I'm sorry I got out here a little late tonight. We got backed up as usual. What do we want to talk about tonight? Elections? Huh? You look shopping for something in a nice suit? 40 regular. Put this man up. Huh?
With a department store in your own name in Chicago, I thought I might make an arrangement to get something wholesale.
I wish that department store was in my name, Carson Perry Scott. It's nice to see you again.
Thank you, Johnny. It's good to be back.
Let's talk a little bit about, just for the fun of it, I know you do a lot of college concert dates and lectures and so forth. Are the college students really more politically astute now and care a lot more, do you think, than they did 15 or 20 years ago? Obviously, they do.
Oh, my goodness, I don't think there's any question about that. They're asking a lot of questions these days to which I have to answer I don't know. We have some on campus who are experts in such subjects as pipelines and Bessarabia and other obscure things that none of us can conceivably comprehend.
Do they really throw you curves with the questions?
Yes, they do, and I think they respect it most when you just say, I don't know. I've stopped trying to extemporize.
You don't find many politicians, though, that do that, do you? If you ask politicians something, you don't get that very often. I don't know, or I'll find out.
Usually you get a two-faced answer, don't you?
Yeah.
Some sort or some.
We have Mayor Lindsay on our show coming up Friday, and of course he's been in the news quite a bit lately because he's out in California now, and of course since his recent switch to the Democratic Party, how do you view that? If you had to look at the upcoming people for 72.
Well, Johnny, I don't like to get involved in matters of personalities or partisan politics, but I'm afraid he's going to discover that as a liberal Republican, he had a lot of Democratic friends he isn't going to have when he becomes competition for the nomination.
In other words, you're saying that the chances probably would not be good that he would get the nomination.
Oh, not at all good. No, that's all upstream. It's unfortunate that we mistake sometimes the adulation that comes from the other side of the political fence, and I think that may have been this case.
You ever thought of running? I'm sure you have, for political office. People must say, why don't you run? What do you think it takes to be a good politician? Is it possible to be a skilled politician without, let us say, compromise somewhere along the way?
Well, Johnny, it was only suggested twice within a degree of seriousness, and the first time I took the question back to a longtime friend, then 3rd District Congressman Fred Busby in Illinois. He said, Paul, you know, there's nobody I'd rather have on the ticket with me the next election. But he said, one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to modify that freewheeling, independent individualism of yours, or your own party is going to pull the rug out from under you, and that would break your heart. Or you're going to go ahead and compromise your views, and that would break your spirit. So now you have a choice, a broken spirit or a broken heart. But there seemed to be no other option. And the answer thereafter was easy. And besides, Johnny, I think we can be, in our present positions, of much more usefulness to the Republic than if we choose sides in partisan politics and automatically slice our constituency in half, don't you?
You mean as a commentator and a broadcaster and newspaper,
yes,
in other words,
and in
serve
your
a better
position
purpose
too.
there?
I think we have an opportunity that's of transcendent significance.
I've often wondered why somebody would want, I suppose, politically, I suppose that is the top job. If you are a politician professionally, that's like being chairman of the board, but I've often wondered why anybody would want that responsibility of trying to govern this country.
It's strange, too, that I'm preaching something I haven't practiced, because I guess one of the laurels of which I'm most proud is the fact that almost every place I travel, having been on radio, television, seems 100 years now, is the fact that so many men of positions of prominence in politics, governors, I can think of half a dozen members of Congress, one person who's been mentioned prominently for president, say they were motivated by something I'd said once upon a time, usually in a personal speech, to interest themselves in a political career. And here, while I have been trying to get everybody else involved, I have myself been unwilling to get my own feet wet in that arena, but I still think it was a wise choice.
Let me ask you this. A lot of people say that they don't seem to think it makes any difference, and it's almost, it's sad to say it, that it wouldn't make any difference who becomes president of the United States because no one person can really wield that much importance. You still have to have the Congress and the Senate to go along with you. So people say, well, it doesn't make any difference if it's Nixon or if it's Muskie or McGovern or so forth. Now, you hear that quite frequently. They say, what difference does it make who gets in?
Oh, I think this president has, to the extent that he can, turned the country around. You know, a lot of people are anxious about his upcoming trip to Red China.
Mm-hmm.
I think we ought to be mighty glad that a man with his international political kin is making that trip. If one of those other fellows I can think of were making it, I'd be real worried. But the responsibility in his hands, I think, is not going to be underestimated or misused.
Do you think it will serve some kind of useful purpose?
No way to know, Johnny, but our little 6% fraction of this planet's population had better learn to get along, because ain't no way we can outnumber them.
Well, that's for sure. What's the population now? 800 million, 900 million? You have a son. How old is your son?
23.
Does he take
23.
issue with you? What do you disagree on most?
Well, now this is going to sound rather intimately personal. We don't really disagree essentially, except that at the dinner table I'm still the father and he's still the son, and I think we both like it better that way. But you know, the reason he wanted to make this trip was to meet this gaudy Gabriel in your family down here, being a music major and himself a concert pianist. He thinks that Doc has a musical talent that's most incomparable. He's particularly fascinated by his horn. So I was coming to see you. He was coming to see Doc. There's a generation gap, is what I'm trying to say,
Right.
Johnny.
Yeah. I think, is that a compliment or not? I'm trying to analyze that. But are any issues at all? I mean, I was talking about, you know, what do you talk to your, how do you explain the drug scene to youngsters when they ask about it?
Oh, I thank God every day that hasn't been a problem in our family. And it's something that I really just don't know about, Johnny. And yet I think, aren't we inclined to preoccupy ourselves here with an effect instead of with the cause? There are a lot of real valid grievances that these young people have these days. Whether they're adequate to drive them to drugs, I don't know. But I wonder if you and I matured in this area, in an atmosphere like this, where our government sent us around the world to try to stop the advance of communism and yet refused to let us do anything about it 90 miles from Florida. I think this kind of hypocrisy breeds the restiveness which invites excesses. Now, I don't know anything about the problem, having never had to face it personally. God willing, we never will. But again, it seems to me that there's so much positive apparent on our campuses that we're straining at gnats in preoccupying ourselves with either the political, fanatical fringe or with those who are giving themselves to excesses. For example, I have interested myself, as I think you know, professionally to the extent that I can, and personally, wherever and however I can, in this Alexander Smith Academy, the tutorial teaching. It, to me, is a positive substitute for the busing, for the complications evolving from necessary busing. And I say necessary because it's still the law, whether we like it or not. And I don't like it. And I think it's a foolishness that eventually we're going to get over. But it remains the law. And while it remains the law, I really can't understand some of these love it or leave it Americans lying down in front of buses themselves disobeying laws. But any event, here's a tutorial academy which is making it possible here, New York, in Westchester County, and in 20-some cities around the United States, the godchild of a couple of airline captains in Atlanta, where in a modern classroom, if you're not getting as much education as you can use because you're an advanced student, or if you're dropping behind and about to drop out because you can't be caught up, for $10, $12 an hour, you can go to a private tutorial academy where there are no color lines, where there are no other divisions, and here you can catch up or get ahead, and it's amazing how many young people are showing up in tremendous numbers wanting to excel. Horatio Alger's still alive in this country, Johnny. The American dream is still good.
We'll be right back.